We're live. This is a thing. Thanks for coming. And I'm a little bit late. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask my husband if it's working. Eric, is it working? Well, I mean, is it live streaming? Like, can you hear me and see me on the thing? Okay, he's gonna. I suppose somebody could tell me in the chat too if you can see this. So, there's a little bit of weird thing with the audio, and we are fixing it. But yeah, and then I was being blinded by the sun. But anyway, I think I fixed that at least. I'm a little bit nervous about all this live stream stuff. If you are here for the first time, this is the fifth time that I've done this, and it's a platform that is new for me. I have to get my confidence. Get my confidence up. Okay, come on, Mary Fons. All right, this is new. It's new, and if maybe you're a gamer, maybe you play video games online. I don't know. It's possible. But Twitch, you know all about it. This platform has been used by gamers for years. In fact, I thought it was newer than it is. It was started in like 2012 or something, and I didn't know that. Boomer. So it's been around for a while, but I'm pretty sure this is the first quilt nerd channel on Twitch. If you know me, if you know what I do, I'm in quilts. I'm into quilt history. I look at quilts in a world beyond the quilt world. Beyond the commercial quilt world, beyond the world that many of us sort of live and breathe. Right? If you're a quilt maker, then you live and breathe a lot of Instagram accounts that are quilt makers. You follow fabric companies and pattern makers and shows and things like that. Your guild, and all that stuff is amazing. But there's more that I find out in the world beyond that quilt bubble. It's a good bubble. There's more out there. So I would say welcome, because this is gonna be a stream that is I don't know, it's my research to broadcast, and I think there's like 2 people in here. I just realized one of them here. That's good because I'm still new at this, and maybe it means that other people won't notice that I was nervous at the beginning. Okay. So today, now I'm gonna start this thing, and even though there's only a couple people in here right now, I'm rehearsing, how this goes. So I'm going to remind you or tell you that this is not like it's not an how-to show for sure. It's me like looking stuff up and examining quilt pictures and examining text, maybe. I don't know, like if I'm just reading a document, I don't know if I'll put that on a live stream, because I mean I'm not supposed to like be here to entertain you or something like that. But I think me just reading a document, I don't know. I don't think that's quite flashy enough. So I won't do that. At least I don't think so. But what I will do is go down the quilt rabbit hole, and I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to learn things along with you, or maybe I should say you'll learn things along with me. So what I'm going to do now, because the project I'm working on, one of the things is hang on, let me just I'm working on my next lecture for QuiltCon, and one of those lectures that I'm doing, am I doing 2? I know, yeah, okay. I'm doing one lecture on quilts and fashion, and I'm doing one lecture on quilts and fine art, quilts in fine art. And so I've got a lot of quilts like ready to go for that lecture. But hang on one second. Let me move this down here and get something. Let's see. Okay, here. I gotta pull up the right thing. Fine art. Okay, cool. Right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some websites that I know about, some websites that I've looked at like in the past. Artsy.net is the first one I'm going to check out. And the point of the lecture is to talk about like quilts that talk about fine art that has been, has used quilts in it, not art quilts, right? But quilts that have been incorporated into various people's fine artwork, like Sanford Biggers. If you don't know him, I'll point that out. Sanford Biggers is this guy. He uses quilts, obviously, as a major departure point for his work. He's amazing. Oh yeah, and I'm putting all of the links that I give. Oh my gosh! Hey! Oh my gosh! Mantra Tantra. Hi! Oh my gosh! I'm so glad you're here. I think my husband's here and you're here. I think that's who's here, and that's great. I'm so glad you're here because, I mean, this is kind of new. It's new and it's hard, but I don't know. I really like it. Really like it. Thank you for being here. Right now, it's like a private party, and I'm really glad. Oh, thank you. I mean, please don't leave, because yeah, it's really good to have you here. Oh God, you throw a party, you hope people come, and you can. Thank you. Let's just drink margaritas until the sun comes out. About that. Okay, so here I go. I'm gonna look at Sam Biggers, and I'm gonna put in the chat anything that I find. Yeah, Aaron and I might do some more. Actually, I'm gonna do this. We might do more videos. He's hard to put down though. Hang on a minute. I'll go to his website. What I need to do is start putting into the description for each video, each Twitch video. I need to put in the links that I look at for myself and for anyone else who's interested. Yeah. Oh wow, that's a new one. I've never seen this one. Are they gonna make it bigger? Yeah, they are. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's really cool. I've never seen that one before. I'm sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's see, drag it and drop it. So I have to drag all these. Okay. So Sanford Biggers is one example of a fine artist who's very famous, who's using quilts in his work. This is a really famous piece. I think it's one of the first pieces I saw of his, and I was like, what? This is amazing. And I talked about him in a lecture at QuiltCon a couple times. I mean, he comes up a fair amount because he's just so high profile. And he went to the Art Institute, the School of Art Institute, just like me. So we're cool. We he doesn't text me back always when I text him, but we hang out. No, I'm just kidding. We don't. I wish we did. But his book is really good. It's called Code Switch. And it's interesting because he, in the book, he talks about the Underground Railroad, right? And how it's tough because if you know about the Underground Railroad thing, right, the quilts on the Underground Railroad, and some of you may, some of you may not. In short, there's it's hard to be short about this story, but there was a book written years ago. When was it? In the 90s, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And, I don't know what that sound. Can you hear that sound? You must be able to hear it. I don't know what it means yet. This is my 5th stream ever. Anyway, so the Underground Railroad quilt code was something that was talked about in a book in the 90s, written by Raymond Dobard and Jacqueline something. It doesn't matter, Turner or something like that. And in the book, they talked about meeting a woman, Odessa. When I gave the lecture, I knew all of these things. Anyway, so they talked about how this woman in Charleston, older African American woman, told Jacqueline Tobin, about the quilt code, about how her ancestors and her people in her family used quilts on the Underground Railroad to help lead people who were escaping on the Underground Railroad to safety. Hang on. And this caused quite a stir because nobody knew this. no historians had ever heard of it before. And it caused quite a controversy because as much as people really loved the story, it was a fictional story. And the authors didn't really, because the book was so wildly popular. I'm going to scroll through some of these quilts, these works by Sanford Biggers as I tell you this, because they didn't really, they sort of let that popularity run away from them basically, and they weren't really clear that the story was fictionalized. So anyway, the whole Underground Railroad thing has been really criticized by historians because there's no evidence. There's no actual evidence that this happened. I think, but it's a complicated thing because people who believe that it happened get very angry at people who say it couldn't have happened for various reasons, and people who don't think that it happened get furious at the people who did think that it happened because there's no evidence. So anyway, this is one of those like very complicated, very intense discussions we can have on a focus stream at some point if you like. So anyway, so Sanford Biggers uses that myth, if you will, that story, as a jumping off point for his work, and and that's, if you don't think that the quilt code thing is real, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy his work, because obviously it's pretty awesome. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I know about Sanford Biggers, so I'm gonna go over here to Artsy, and Artsy it's a website where you can artists put their work. You can buy art. Oh wow! Hey, Amy Sherrill. Do you know Amy Sherrill painted? She painted Michelle Obama's portrait for the National Portrait Gallery, and her inspiration for her dress was the quilts of Gee's Bend. That's like stated. She made that clear that Michelle Obama, the dress that she put her in, was inspired by quilts. That's Amy right there. It's cool. So anyway, so I'm going here, so you can buy work through Artsy, and that's some pretty major work. Frank Stella, Molly Green. So actually, I don't know who Molly Green is. That's somebody else. Anyway, so what's interesting, when I go here and I search quilt, there's usually some pretty interesting stuff that comes up, and I actually have a login. See, there's new stuff that I hadn't seen. So that's where I'm going to start today. And this stream it's just me doing this, and it's just, if you want to hang out, it's amazing. I hope you do. You can put me on in the background. You can hang out, and so if you want, whatever you want to do, I hope you'll do it. I'm going to open this door back up because it's hot. Okay. All right, Sanford Biggers. All right, Christopher Cassio. I mean, I think some people who drop in to this stream are not going to know what exactly to do with it. Let's see. Let's do this. Make that bigger. Okay. To make I see. Yeah, isn't it? So this is interesting. So like, I mean, what's interesting about this, and I have to figure out, is what's the difference? What's the difference between this work and work by people in Sakwa, for example. Like, I mean, this is obvious. So it's canvas. Is it canvas? We'll take a look. But it's a bound piece of patchwork, right? And so one of the things I'm trying to figure out is what counts as fine art and what counts as an art quilt. I mean, it's really the question that I want to figure out. So Christopher Cassio. Let's look him up. Oh, I guess yeah. Okay, well, they'll take him. Take it to him. Hang on. I'm gonna do this. Okay. So this is Christopher Cassio's page on Artsy. Okay, now this looks like. Okay, now I gotta put this in the chat. Okay. Yeah, it really is pretty. So, okay, what is this? Oh, I want to read about him. Hang on. And I'm gonna make a folder for fine art dream. Okay. Micro sawtooth variation processor, right? That about the work. About the work. Not about the work. We have to know who he is. Okay. Well, this doesn't say anything about him. Oh, okay, here we go. I mean, that's a major. It's a big gallery. I mean, and I'm not hating on him at all. I mean, this is like a master of color and a full-on fetishist of perfect surfaces. Cassio continues exploring systematic variations on painting themes. Aerosol acrylic on canvas, 1500. I don't know. I mean, I just like quilters, you know, they have such a hard time, like, you know, selling their quilts for much of anything, right? I'm gonna use this in my talk. Let me see. Will it let me? Yeah. Okay. And I have to save the file, like, you know, what it is, or I'll never find it again. Christopher Cassio, portals, pinwheels, process. This is like going right now. Interesting. Bill Arnie exhibitions. Hang on. Where is it? It's in Houston. Interesting. That's cool. Okay, Houston's legendary Delia Derringer performs as part of Burlesque for the Postmodern Voyeur, July 24th, just happened. Curated by J.D. Hickok. Photo. So this is Christopher's show, right? It's happening right now at Bill Arnie exhibitions. Okay, fabulous. Goes into the file. No, I can't do it like that. Wait a minute. That's really cool. And I need to, you see, and this is just like me working, you know? It just is. So if you like that kind of thing, oh, it's locked. Okay, I can't do that. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to say image as Delia Derringer, Cassio show 2021. This is just kind of just the kind of picture that makes my my lecture so great. So just kidding. But it's like yeah, to get a full sense of like where the quilt is in culture, especially in art culture, these kinds of things are really important. Okay, so interesting. He looks very nice. All right, let's go over here. You know what I'll do? Hang on. Hang on 1 second. Okay. I'm going to look on YouTube. He might have something there. Just want to see if he says anything about Christopher Cassio. Hello. Okay. What is that? Okay. Wait a second. What is this? Is so weird. This is so weird. Those ads. That's Christopher Cassio. Interesting. That's him. I mean, I don't think he's going to talk about quilts, but just so people know, he makes
best advice. I don't know about best advice, but I know about kind of most recent advice. And it kind of came at me through someone else because my friend Pablo shows Mark Flood art from time to time. And
he made this. So he made this.
Good advice, which you shouldn't always listen to. But he was talking about a show. I frequently nitpick and worry about details that like artists should worry about, like the walls and the floor, you know what I mean, things like that. And he was telling Paul before his show something to the effect of, if people are looking at the crummy walls instead of my paintings, then like something is really wrong. And like I always think, I tell it to other people, and it's just like it's true. It's like you hang your art anywhere, and if it's engaged enough, then it really doesn't matter if the wall has holes in it or if the floor is not painted.
I wanted you to talk about quilts. That's it. So anyway, all right. So he's a young guy. That's what's important. Let me make notes here. You know, is it Mantra? Mantra? Thanks for hanging out. You know, oh God, okay. Notes. What I'm hoping is it will become so natural for me to do this, I won't worry about who's here or not. Let's get him a little bit better here. Okay. Okay. That's there. So let's see who else on Artsy. All right. All right, so Sandra Biggers, Christopher Cassio. Okay, this work is $19,000. $19,500. That's very interesting. Let's take a look at it. Can we? Whoop, sorry. It's stitched? I don't know. I can't tell. Let's see. Whiting Tennis. Is that the name of a person? Whiting Tennis. Acrylic and collage. When was it made? 2014. Quilt number 2. 2014. Okay. So I want to look up. Yikes. Okay. Hang on a second. Mantra, if you have to go, it's okay. The only one here. God. Okay. Okay. This is a quilt too, I think. Yeah. Is that the same one? I think so. No, it's a different one. Okay. Interesting. Seattle. Okay, so this one, I mean, that quilt, obviously, right? So the one that we saw here, this is called quilt number 2. And that's pretty interesting. And it's acrylic collage on canvas. So, I mean, it's paint. There's no fabric in it, unless you count canvas, which, I don't, not in that way. He's not using like as patchwork, right? He's painting on it. And so, hang on. And so, this one is probably, it might be quilt 1, right? I'm not sure. But I'm going to see if there are other quilts that he's done. Okay, so this is an image search for Mr. Tennis. Whiting Tennis is to have other quilts. I mean, it might be something that he does regularly, but it might just be departure, right? Oh, is that him? That's interesting. Okay, so I'm just seeing the 2 quilt pieces pretty much, but it's interesting, and I think it looks big, right? Hold on, let's go here. 82 by 68. It's not that big. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. All right. Wouldn't it be funny if like a bunch of gamers just, I don't know, if it felt like it was like an ASMR thing or something, and like, I just got popular with the gamers who use Twitch to live stream their video games. Wouldn't that be nice? Or weird? It would be weird. It would be weird first, and then it'd be nice. So, okay, so here's Christopher Casio, all right, and here Leah Reynolds. I don't know any of these people, right? But for the lecture on fine art and quilts, I'm getting to know them. Doll quilt, 300. Leah Reynolds. What fiber art? Okay. I mean, I just have to know if she's done more. These are people. Okay, let's see Leah Reynolds. And part of doing this too is, I think, people who watch or who dip in sometimes might find inspiration in it from what they see. Just as I'm researching, that's all this is. Leah Reynolds, artist in Philadelphia, I believe. Oh wait, hang on. Here's a website. Hangings. I think probably these are the quilts. Some sort of patchworky elements. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So here's some stuff. Kite. I don't know if I would keep that in the folder though for my lecture, because it's not really patchwork. That she's a fiber artist, like that's what she's doing. But I'm not sure. I don't know. This is sort of quilt adjacent. But I'm not gonna keep it. Okay, let's see what else we got. Interesting. So this is called Quilt 2018, but I mean, it's loosely quiltish, right? 2018. I mean, I doubt that this guy has more, sort of quilty things. Yeah, this is other work, loosely quilt related, right? But this one, another one. What is this? Super Modular Quilt X9. Wow. Okay. That's pretty intense. So it's, okay, Papel, Vegetal, and Malico. So I had clearly Spanish. So let's translate. Vegetable and metallic folded paper, textile intervention. I like that. I like that translation. Okay, let's see. I want to look at it. Can I look at it closer? Yeah. Interesting. 90 to 65 centimeters. That's pretty big. Well, yeah. It's not that big. Okay. But I wish we had. Oh, look at this. He has more. He has more. Or she does. Sorry. Antonietta. So let's take a look at her. I want to look her up. This is interesting. I like her. Antonietta. Let's see. Instagram. Nice. I mean, look at this, you know? It's like, who knew? If you go outside a bubble, right, you find some pretty interesting things. Wow, really cool. I mean, I think it's thread. Is she using thread and paper? I mean, are those little guys thread? Well, we have to find out. Okay, if somebody speaks Spanish, put in the chat what she's saying, because I only have I only have like Google Translate. Okay, let's see. Study mock-up for codes. I mean, that might be the name of the work, right? Starched textile cut, fold, and embroidery. It is embroidery. That's so cool. I love her. That is so great. Okay, she's Chilean. Okay, interesting. Okay, Chilean. Got it. And this is so cool. See, this is what I hope people come from, right? Like, it's just me looking at stuff, and a lot of times it's cool. I don't know if that's a black and white picture. Look at her. She's so cool. Look at her. She's got the little needles and threads by her name. I mean, look over here on the right where she's got all the X's just above that. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Last time it was, you can see my cursor working on all these things. Oh, I have to like these things. I'm never on Instagram. Okay. I should like everyone's everything all the time. Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love it. Wow. This is great. Like, I mean, things like this, like, I feel like people at QuiltCon, for example, and, people at Sakwa and whatever, people should know about these kind of things. They're just, I don't know, they're part of the quilt universe, I think, especially this. I mean, what? I love it. Oh, God. Okay. So I followed her, right? And I like this. And I have to take a screenshot. Whoops. To put in my file. And she is. This here. Her name is Antonietta Damasci. And this is called. Oh, wait. I don't know what it's called, but I'll be able to find it with that. Lovely. And what's in the folder? Oh boy. Okay. That's great. That's a really good find. Cool. License plate quilt. Interesting. Wow. Tin, wire, and license plates. Now that's something. That's really something. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's definitely quilt-inspired art, right? Who made this? Okay, let's go here. I'll pull it back up for you. Ross Palmer Beecher. Okay, wow. So quilts are a huge part of this person's work. Okay, there's a YouTube video. Let's check it out. Whoa. Sorry. Make this a little smaller.
Inside, I'm a deep thinker. I think hard. I think too hard, probably. Good. So therefore, I guard, and to keep me from getting in trouble. This is where I like to work. This is my place where I come home from work, my day job, and I'm very comfortable to work. It's a quiet little sanctuary. What I like to do is kind of set things up in this little studio before I go to my day job or daily boucher. This little room here is my favorite place to be after I bike home from work, and I bike hard. I ponder a lot when I ride bicycle.
The resolution is so bad.
And I just pick up crap that I find off the street or a dumpster. So my life, the way I live my life, I sort of feel like J. Alfred Prufrock, in T.S. Eliot's song, because every day I make my coffee, I have my toast, I have my sandwich, I go to work, I come back home, I watch the news, and so this helps just become a serendipitous trove of treasures to inspire me to find what other junk to work. Being a kid of the 60s, I grew up in a political turmoil, and so I think I'm very, very inspired politically. I question authority with stuff I find from the dumpster, and then I kind of come up with these intricate little pieces of artwork or many layered concepts. If there's a story that pisses me off, it could just be the news. I mean, when the Kursk submarine went down, the Russians' nuclear sub, I had to do something about that, so I'm painting. Just reading the paper or seeing the news, there's a lot just at the fingertips.
Okay, get to the quilt stuff. Let's see.
Politically speaking,
Yeah, here we go.
It's part of character, so part of my composure as a person. It never ceases to amaze me that people have a hard time, with art saying. When I think that really
see the sunshine and shadow down there on the floor.
Safe to remain a lot of the time, and they're just making stuff, and they're staying out of trouble. We're not like lacing letters with anthrax. We're not doing that. We're just making art. It's funny how people are reactive to that. To me, art is it's not a bomb, and they think some kind of radioactive material. This particular piece is a log cabin style quilt.
There it is.
That was actually just inspired by a dumpster that's down in Fremont that's full of fire extinguishers.
Wow.
You've got butane fuel containers in here.
Oh,
You've got gasoline containers. You've got those trucks.
Okay, Meg.
Signs in there that say flammable. Then on the other side of each square of the log cabin quilt is the stuff that puts the fire out. And so I like irony and contrast. That's kind of a good fire fear piece. Fire I bought, 9/11 and just day-to-day service jobs too. And that kind of labor job that we sort of overlook these days too. Kind of, a lot of folks volunteer firemen, but and all that. But it's also a blue collar. It started with the Irish that came in here. So it's kind of a little bit of a tribute to those folks that fight fires or cops and
That's cool.
like that.
I like that.
The move of a country, the move of a nation, it's fascinating to me, and that's one of the reasons why I end up sitting with a lot of Americana imagery. Everybody, I think, needs someone to look up to, and sometimes we don't have much in our life, and when we don't, we gotta have someone to go, hey, no, if it's real or imaginary. So I needed to fill my life with these folks that I admire and their toughness, whether they're rich or poor or whatever. It's all very personal.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna see.
Who you believe in.
I think that might be.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay, here's some hexy or some tumbling blocks. Let's see if she talks more about quilts, right?
When I started with fabric quilts, I had them in a paper pattern. So it's a big butter pattern or simplicity pattern that I use for these things. And then I cut them in paper, and then I use the paper templates and then assemble it together. And then I kind of jig back and forth
Interesting.
to make things fit if they don't fit. And so that's how I get the patterns going. And then I use tools that the Amish would use.
Really? Huh. It's really intricate.
So it's hammers and nails. It's 28 gauge wire. It's a Whitney that would make holes in sheet metal like a paper punch. I'm not using a drill press. I'm not using a lathe. I have no interest in these things. I started out sewing these things by hand. So I have to work with whatever I can go and travel with. I'm not going to carry a lathe to work. I'm not going to carry a drill press around with me on my bike, my backpack. If I talk about something too much, I lose the juices. I understand why we need to explain the works and be clear with it, but I also understand why you kind of don't want to kill it either. If people get it, cool. If they don't get it, I tell you, if you look
I think that's the quilt stuff. That's cool. All right. I just want to see. I don't know. Maybe there's more. Ross, Palmer, Beecher. Interesting. So she started as a quilter. I mean, as a sewer. I mean, she started as a sewer, and that's interesting to me for this lecture, right? Is this her? Yeah. Okay. So, and it's all like, I mean, it's mostly quiltish, right? I mean, this stuff definitely is. I mean, this is obviously. I think it's called. Make it really big, the way it's supposed to be, right? I mean, she clearly knows. Well, I mean, she's an artist. She can see the lights and the darks and all that stuff. Okay, I need to rename. Can I rename this? Yes. Ross Palmer Beecher. I can't spell license. I mean, a lot of times I have to. I don't know how to spell it, and I spell it wrong. Oh, thanks, Kay May. Thank you, dear. When I chat and say things, it's because I write them and I say them. It's new for me. Okay, so that is cool. Oh, look at this. Wow. That's really interesting. 1983. Well, now I like that. I like that very much. I want a better picture of that. Bearskin rug, crazy quilt, exuberant, media textile, paw prints. Beecher states she sees quilts as works of fine art more than as craft. She describes crazy quilts, which became popular, in the late 19th century. I have to copy down this thing. As a mishmash of stitched random scraps. Describes crazy quilts, which became popular in the late 19th century as a mishmash of stitched random scraps. And Loose and Free is a Jack Pollock painting. I love her. I love her. I love her. Let's see what else. So this is some of her work as well. Oh, look at this. I'm into this, man. I'm super into this. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, I've got to do something else. Wait a minute. Oh no, I can do that. So yeah, I gotta get the name of it now. This is the quilt rabbit hole I talk about, right? Yeah, great. I wonder, Cigar Box Twisted Log Cabin. So awesome. Ooh, those are some nice pictures. That's good. That's good. Thanks, gallery people. Probably not do that, right? Okay. I would really love a picture of this bear skin Downton Abbey quilt. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to talk about Downton Abbey. I started watching Downton Abbey some weeks ago, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I loved it until season 2. And then I was like, what's going on with this show? I was riveted. Season 1 and then season 2. Just, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it just, I just wasn't into it. And then I read some articles, some reviews that were like, yeah, the first season's amazing, and the second season, like, and that it didn't really get a whole lot better until the 4th season. I just don't know if I can wait that long. These are really interesting. I'm really glad I found her. Very interesting quilts. I mean, very interesting art, right? Yeah, really interesting. 65 by 98. She's prolific, right? There's a ton. Oh, this is really neat. Sold, so we can't buy it. I wonder how much it is. Maybe it says. That's really cool. Yeah, I think I have to say that too. Wedding quilt. Okay, I can do that. Gotta bring them over here. Gotta put them in the right folder. People. I mean, it's trouble if you don't. Oh, I like that. Well, she's doing well. Like, all of these are sold. Peanuts quilt. Oh, look at its Peanuts. It's Charlie Brown and Snoopy, everybody. That's fun. Whoop. Interesting. Aren't people interesting? Aren't just really something else? Okay. Well, I just want to see if I can find. Wait. Bearskin rug crazy quilt. Ross Palmer Beecher. Sometimes you get lucky and you can find the things that you want, like in higher resolution. No. That's all I'm getting at. 400 by 372. Not the best. Hang on. Well, but maybe, see, I gotta talk to her, right? I'm gonna get in touch with her, and hopefully she can help me out with a better picture. Because I love this. And it's, yeah, I don't know. I wonder where that is now. Okay, great. Good. That's a very good hit. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very good. Oh, there's a G's Ben quilt for sale on our contact for price. Yeah, no kidding. So Andrew Edlin Gallery. I want to look at him. So, I mean, I'm not sure what the G's Ben quilt are going for. Some of them, of course, go for more. Some of them don't go for as much, whatever. The sort of OG G's Ben quilts, or the Petways, the whole family, the Petways, the Bedolphs, right? The quilts are usually, they're more because they're sort of the OG original ones. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I see more art. Anyway, so yeah, Andrew Ian Gallery. I'll follow them. I wonder if they have a lot of those. Hang on, I'm going to check. This is what it's all about, people. It's about following the trail. Okay, I'm going to do that. Andrew Lynn. There it is. You know what? Here I'm going to do quotes. Yeah. So they're representing. I mean, I don't know if they're representing all. Well, Mary Lee Bendolph. I mean, that's a really. I mean, I don't know if the quilt is one of her best or whatever, but Mary Lee Bendolph is one of the most famous, and Annie Mae, one of the most famous quilters that's been the first wave, right? The first quilt makers who were, which is some of the most famous ones, and so talented, right? And yeah, the Petway family, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how much they're charging for these. The whole G's Ben thing. If you saw one of my lectures at QuiltCon in 2020, yeah, just before the pandemic, we got our QuiltCon in just before the pandemic, and I talked a lot about G's Ben, and you can see what I said about it if you go to my YouTube channel and watch the lecture on myths in the American quilt story, because they just have these 3 or 4 up in this gallery. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of misunderstanding about the G's Ben quilters, a lot of misunderstanding, and mostly it's just sort of this weird discriminatory view of them, that they were these uneducated, totally isolated, poor as dirt community, and there's a lot more to it than that. In fact, it wasn't quite, I don't want to say it was quite that bad, because it was definitely impoverished, economically impoverished place. But there was, I always heard that there was no road in or out of G's Bend, Alabama. It was just they were completely isolated, and they made this great art, out of trash, out of their trashed lives. It was super weird, super problematic, because there were people who there was a road in and out of G's Bend, always was, and we're anyway, watch the lecture that's on my YouTube channel about myth in the quilt story, and you'll see what I mean. Okay. Obviously, I have to talk about G's Bend in the lecture on fine art. But it's funny, I hadn't really thought about that until I saw that. Okay, so this, he's calling it quilt, this artist, the painter. Sometimes people, they call their work quilt because, quilt is a cool word, Look, Peter Zimmerman has called his painting quilt, this textile work is quilt. Those aren't really the things that I'm looking at. I'm looking more things like this, This is really interesting to me, because it's $2,400, okay? And that's fine. And as I look at this stuff, I'm not hating on anything. But I just don't know why. This is a really good example of what I'm talking about. I just don't know why an actual quilt that would look like this never fetch $2,400 at market, Not at market, it would not. People wouldn't buy a quilt that was $2,400, especially one that's pretty simple like this, It's just not gonna happen. But why? I'm gonna move this up, you guys. Why? Oh, I plug this in too. I don't know. Why is that? And there isn't answers. Well, see that? You're still seeing a monitor. Oh, I lost my monitor. Yeah. So, hang on one second. I lost my little thing. Okay. I lost my... Hey, Eric? Okay, hang on one second. Hang on. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to fix a thing. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I think we're okay. I know the camera is maybe not working yet, but I think it will be okay. And if it isn't, then we'll know soon. Okay. Let's see if it'll. Okay. Hang on. Okay, so I have a problem with my camera, you guys. So thank you so much for coming. Usually I'm on a lot longer. I've been on an hour, but I'm going to cut the stream short today because I have to fix whatever it is that happened with my camera. The reason that it happened at all is because I plugged in my computer because it's getting really low on battery. So thank you. I cannot thank you enough for the people who dropped by. It's a different format. It's like, I don't know. I love it. It's so much fun for me. So I hope that you guys had fun. Thank you for coming. Okay, loved your mom's video on why she doesn't sell quilts. People say it all the time. Should sell mine. Thank you. Yes, can. Exactly. Like, I have to untangle this topic, right? Why do people sell paintings for $2,400 of a quilt, but a quilt itself is not worth hardly anything, right? It certainly wouldn't sell at an art gallery most of the time. So honestly, like, I love you for coming by, and it was mantra. Thank you, you're amazing. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll be streaming again on Thursday. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing it because I like it, and I think other people like it, and I appreciate you. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.